I remember loving history when I was in high school, but shying away from anything that was related to the Philippines. And when I began to realize through interactions with my peers and with my professors that my history is something worth doing, and learning more about the Philippines and Philippine history, realizing that it is also a history that's worth studying on par with what I'm learning in American and European history. My first forays into Asian history were in fact not in Asian history classes. They were in American history classes. I think the most memorable one for me was Dr. Douglas Brinkley's 20th Century U.S. Presidents. He allows you to choose for the first paper any topic. And funnily enough, I didn't write about a U.S. president, I wrote about a Filipino president, Ferdinand Marcos, and talked about the special relationship between the Philippines and the United States. I was able to take that paper to conferences. I took it to 2 conferences, one in Houston at the University of Houston downtown, and the other one to Mississippi at Mississippi State University. And so at the end of this long process, I decided a topic on the Philippines, a topic that is very near and dear to my heart on Chinese-Filipino history, and something that I believe is not only researching a part of the past, but also researching that's part of my own history, a very personal history that's near and dear to me. From reading a lot about the time period, reading a lot about general histories of the country, I began to be more comfortable, and that allowed me to do more specialized research in the Philippines. And so that was me as a sophomore. As a junior, I then wrote a paper on, what was it about? It was actually a general paper on Chinese-Filipino migration, right? And that paper led to my very specific honors thesis about opium's role in this Chinese-Filipino migration. So for most of 2018, from January all the way to August, I was not in the United States. I studied abroad in the Philippines. I went to the National Archives, which is in the capital, Manila, and I looked through a lot of these Spanish and Chinese Filipino documents. One of the great things that Rice has enabled me to do is that they enabled me to do not just like derivative research on something some professor has done, but allowed me to gain the opportunities to go abroad to Singapore, to the Philippines, and make an original, or do original research to have something new to say. One of the things that Rice History is great for, the history department, is that they're sponsoring a personal discovery prize. It's the Garside Prize. I intend to spend a lot of my summer traveling through Russia in the Trans-Siberian Railroad. I've always been fascinated about trains, and one of the stipulations there is that there has to be some sort of personal discovery element to it. And I figured that one of the things I could do was go to a country that I've always been curious about, but never really had the opportunity to go be fully immersed in that culture for like 2 weeks or so, just exploring this middle of Siberia. And I guess trying to see what more I can learn about what it means to be, I guess, a human being in this very diverse world of ours.